Well, I'm going to start this garden video a little differently this time. This is a new addition to my garden this year. These are really nice cages that I found you could get on YouTube, not YouTube, eBay. And they're not complete, they're half complete. The second thing to be added is these tie wraps here that will go on each of the joints. So I just wanted to show that. Anyway, we have a new addition to the house. It's a shed. I can now put some stuff closer. It was made generally for a generator and a snowblower to be closer to the driveway and to where both would end up getting used. So you could have the generator to slide over to where the connection is. I'm going to go around quickly just to show how some of the flower garden is doing here. This is the Japanese wonder plant, the only one I have. Looks like it's just about to bloom. You can see them there on the top. Unfortunately, all the other bulbs I planted were eaten up by animals, dug up and eaten up. I have grown some from seed, and they seem to actually be growing. So maybe there's hope there, but when I plant the seeds in the future, I'm going to put cages over them, like the ones you saw. I'll put cages and see if they'll survive, and they probably will. And once I get going, it looks like these big ones, they just don't bother. They're like the small ones. So here's some stuff. There's some tickweed. I always forget what the name of this one is. But you see there's some interesting stuff growing in the garden here. Oh, I love these pinwheels. And gone by flowers there. And these look like they're about to bloom. The hosta, I've got two giant hosta that I've got to cut these down next year. And there's iris that I could cut out, lots of iris here. I did cut out a lot in the spring, but not enough. It's just definitely spreading out. You can see it. This is the reed grass, it's called. Shasta daisies, a Judy edition. These are onions, but they're gonna come up in little, like ball-shaped flowers. You'll see them later in another video. Or you'll see them in last year's video, another big giant hosta with some reed grass growing out of it, very invasive. So from here we can just easily swing over to the outside garden, which is doing quite excellent. You can see I've made use of some cages here to protect Brussels sprouts, and up here some beans, bush beans, and strangely, I don't know what kind of plants these were, what type of pepper plants, but they're not doing well. They're not growing big, and they're not growing big fast. Got weeding to do. Lots of weeding to do in the garden. You can see it all starting to get away from me here. But I can't complain too much. This one was decimated by a critter. Maybe it'll come back. I got the cage put over it. They were even going after some of my, this is the plantlets that I bought instead of seeds of the oh darn it, what's it called? Swiss chard. The Swiss chard. So they actually were eating some of it. Here's some Swiss chard just grown from seed. This is for a little of anything coming up decent here. These are sunflowers, and you can see they're being completely nibbled and destroyed by probably deer or woodchucks or who knows. There's not anything you can really put over those. I could get a big cage like this, I guess. I could form a big cage. I think I got enough caging to make one big round cage like this that I could put over and maybe protect some in the next year. Caging seems to be the big thing I've got to buy a lot of. But these are peas, and they're doing okay. I'm going to get some of them. This is a tomato plant, and most of the stuff out here is doing pretty good. It looks like we're going to get tomatoes. We're going to get, we have already gotten some, oh, another one I can pick. We've already gotten some yellow squash. Look at this. Do you see what I see down in there? See it? Yep, I think I'm going to have to come back and pick that one. And there's another one in my garden. And there's two I've already picked, so I'm getting a good amount of yellow squash here at the moment. Funny how everything comes in at once. So let's take a stroll over towards the garden here. And I'll take a walk around there, trying to make this as quick as possible with reporting on how things have gone and are going for the few fans that I have. The garden has actually been doing reasonably well. In some ways better than outside, except for one thing. Let me see if I can get this off with one hand. Getting the little barrier at the door here off and get it open. Here we go. So go down this row like we usually do. Lots of Swiss chard. 1, 2, 3 buckets of it there. There's the yellow squash, so that's 2. And that's not the one I was thinking of, because there's a third one. Oh my gosh. We may be giving some yellow squash to our neighbor, who will end up giving us some of their produce in a different way. We share, both sides of us, the neighbors are wonderful, and across the street, wonderful too, but we've never really shared much with Mohammed. Good guy though. So yeah, all this is looking wonderful. This is at the end of the garden that gets enough sunlight. And so here's where one of those cages is going to go that I made up out there. Once I get it tie wrapped, I will kind of put it over this and fit the plants in. Again, beans and peas here. Should have planted more on this side here. I'm sorry I didn't. I'm going to be planting a second crop somewhere in here. I am. So anyway, things not looking too bad. This Brussels sprouts. I have not gotten good Brussels sprouts over the years. I did get this good though, however, and in fact you can see, so, oh, look at that one. That one's ready to pick right there. These are radishes. And I planted some French, whatever they are, radishes, and I don't know what happened to them. I've not seen them, so I don't know. I don't know where they are, and I'm not sure what happened to them. But those round ones did great, so I'll focus on those in the future. Again, a pepper doing poorly. Most of the peppers are doing poorly, in my opinion. And now you can see what happens with the beans that are outside. As you can see, those have been nibbled. But inside, we're doing good. It's growing up. It's happy. I got 2 more squash plants here. Another one. A pepper plant stunted. I just don't know what it is. And here's that other yellow squash I was talking about. So it looks like we're getting a bumper crop of yellow squash. These are pole beans here. And yes, they're getting nibbled. Only down low, so I'm pretty sure these are rabbits. There are rabbits that are getting in, and they can get in right, they can squeeze in through this. So they're getting them lower down. And I would have, if I'd had time to put that cage over there around this, they wouldn't have been able to nibble down there, and then they wouldn't get up high too much. But as you can see, they're definitely vining. These are, like I said, they're pole beans. We'll see how this ends up. We'll see how this ends, but it's beginning well. Lots and lots of squash plants, as you can see here, but a lot of them not growing as fast as those yellow squash. So these are going to be zucchinis, tromboncinos, and other such things. Here's a Brussels sprout not doing as good, and here's one that's doing freaking fantastic in the shadier side of the garden, because we're way over here. In fact, you can even see from the shadows that we're in the shade. And over here, it's all in the shade, and it's almost noontime. What time is it? 12:18, it's past noon. So stuff doesn't do good over here, but I'm thinking that right in here, I'm gonna plant a bunch of beans just for the hell of it. A later crop, we'll see what happens. Over here is bad news. Yes, there was a ton of morning glory seeds that all sprouted, plus other ones, and look what happened. You know, bunnies have nibbled every bit of it away, killed it. So I'm not probably going to get any morning glories this year, none at all. I guess I'm going to have to go to caging because of the rabbits. I'm going to have to cage around, put the stuff in these planters. See how that's sort of up in the air? I'm thinking have it up here, higher than the rabbits. Just put it up in the air, and then see how well that does. Boost these things up in the air, and then see how well the ones up in the air do. None of these really are up in the air enough, because the rabbits can climb up on them, but I think I can put those up in the air and avoid the rabbits. Anyway, every year is a new year, but as you can see, nothing good going on here, so maybe I'm going to till some of these and put beans in there too. Or peas, a late pea crop. could work. Final thing, go as quick as I can here. 10 minutes, I'm not doing bad. Not doing bad at all. There's my rototiller, rotary composter. It's doing well. And I haven't checked grapes. Oh yeah, we got grapes coming. I don't have to do a thing with these. They just happen. Look at them. Yeah, quite a few of them. I don't have to do anything to this at all. The worst part of it is trying to keep this stuff here. You know what this is? You can tell it. It's just the habit of it. That is Oriental Bittersweet. I may sick Judy on the Oriental Bittersweet that's attacking my grapes. I'll tell her about it. She'll come out here and go nuts with it, I'm sure, because she's real good about that. So the final thing is a shot of my apple tree. I see small apples on the ground. I do. They're getting knocked down by something. See them? They're all over. And I'm going to assume squirrels. We have a crap ton of squirrels. I'm thinking maybe I should trap them and move them somewhere else. They're trouble in a lot of ways at the moment. There are still some apples left. And of course more of them are up towards the top. But squirrels don't care if the top, bottom, or in between. They can get them anywhere. So unfortunately, once again, I've been foiled by Mother Nature. And part of it is Judy's fault. She's feeding these squirrels and they're multiplying. There's a family of 4 of them that was on a tree. And I would say there's at least 6 to 8 squirrels all around the property here, maybe 10. That's because they're being fed too well. I think I need to trap them and move them. And I think I need to stop her from... Well, I have to say it's really nice in one way, watching those birds feed and all that, and the suet and all that is great. But the squirrels don't get the suet, but they do get the leftover seeds and other stuff, and it keeps them fed. They're not starving out, and they multiply more. So that's the good, bad, and ugly from this time here, and I did it in a little under 13 minutes.